And then it's the Niners at 5-3 who are super hurt and just lost to Houston today.
Yeah.
Not to mention it within your own division. I get it. The Eagles keep winning games. They improved to 6-2. But they're going to look at this and say, the NFC's wide open.
Yeah.
We can compete for a wild card.
Yeah.
You played the best defense that you're going to play all year today, in my opinion. And I thought this would be the best defense in the league coming in. As we talked about in pregame, I do think there are warts. I don't know if the Cowboys did a great job of necessarily attacking those when we go back and watch this. I mean, you were screaming the whole game. Why are you playing sideline to sideline?
Yeah.
Attack the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Go forward. Right? There's safeties. If there's anything to exploit in that secondary, their safety play isn't great.
No. And their best corner was not even on the field.
Yes.
The inside routes and stuff. But, you look, Dak had the interception right before the half. That was down the middle of the field play. But, yeah, this to me, this is – and the argument that they will have or the discussion that they'll have is they'll say, we're getting guys back. We're going to get Overshown back. We're getting – we're going to see Ravel. We're going to see what he's going to do.
We're going to get healthier.
Yeah. And you're right.
It'll be a spin. And if it's not, and let's say they lose to Arizona and they still haven't made a trade, they'll be 3-5-1. Then it's we've got to do something to try and get the conversation back going when everyone else has written us off and everyone says, the season's over. We got to do something to kind of stir up, at least headlines and conversation, but also to the fan base that's still, and there are. I know there's a lot of diehard fans. I'm with you because I am one myself, born and raised. I think if you listen every week, you can tell that. But there are other fans that just don't care. They're going to have hope and think the Cowboys are the greatest thing ever, no matter what the record is. So for those fans, Jerry can capitalize on a trade.
Sure.
I mean, last year, why the hell did they trade for Jonathan Mingo, who was an inactive today, a healthy inactive, and they overpaid for him. They gave up a fourth-round pick for Jonathan Mingo, who nobody wanted, and he's not even on your team today. So, or on the roster. He's not active today. He's on the team. But it's one of those things where I just think that they'd make a move regardless of what's happening for the sake of making a move. The fear now is, with everybody knowing how badly you need defensive help, are teams now going to force your hand to overpay?
Oh, well, they're teams that might not, the guys you absolutely want, teams might not even give you those guys. I say keep calling, because I went into the attitude of this game today that I thought Dallas would go win this football game. That was my attitude about it. So, my whole demeanor is like, okay, this team needs, if this team goes and gets a big time player, maybe things could be differently on defense. But you got shut down today on offense. That's the thing that made it. Yeah, the defense. That's why you're trading for help on defense because it's so bad.
And I like we got a text in from the 727. I really want to make a trade, but only if it's a cornerstone defender with multiple years of team control, because I do not trust this staff to address defense. That's another element of this, and we've talked about it on the postgame.
Yeah.
And all of our other on G-Bag Nation, the flagship 105 through the fan when we're on 2-7. Since 2020, unfortunately, they haven't drafted great on that side of the ball.
No, haven't.
And you've made the point, and I agree with you. They do have a lot of coaching input in the draft.
They have a ton.
And that probably is, you've got 3 defensive coordinators in 3 years. That probably has something to do with it. But I know if you say, hey, let's hold on to these picks, are you better served getting a player that is a proven commodity that you do have for multiple years? Like, that's the thing. I think sometimes we just get tunnel vision, like this is just for 2025.
Yeah.
If it's a big-time premier player, which maybe isn't available, maybe I think they're trying to swing for a big fish here.
I do too.
And maybe they can't get one.
Yeah.
But if I can get one of these guys, like a Jeffrey Simmons or a Crosby or whoever the player might be, Bradley Chubb in Miami even, I think's a good player under multiple years of control, that's not just helping me for this year. That's helping me for multiple years. And this defense, it's not going to be fixed overnight. It's going to take the draft. It's going to take trades. It's going to take free agency. It's going to take every level to fix this thing. There's too many holes to be able to just fix it with one draft. And then you've got to hope that you hit on that draft pick.
Yeah.
So these are all the conversations you've got to be having.
Oh, no, they clearly don't have a plan. Well, I shouldn't say a plan. They don't have a great feel right now for drafting defensive players. And if and their pick right now, their own pick is just after today, I'm sure was at the top. That's probably top 13 right now, right?
Yeah, I can find it.
Okay, but see, that's what I'm saying. You're looking, if you're looking at defensive help, can these with the way the coaches influence this draft?
15. You're picking 15 right now.
Right now, you are.
And then the Green Bay pick is 31.
It was 31 last time.
Tankathon.
Yeah, they were off this week. So yeah, I mean to me that's. If I knew if you told me that they had fixed their defensive drafting problems, I'd probably sit there and say, okay, fine, we'll just use those picks. But you can't tell me that they have. So I mean, I'm with you. I'm trying to go get somebody, and I think it's more for long. It's for long term and not just
absolutely
just for
like if it can help for this year. And I still think the offense is really good. They went up against a buzzsaw today. Today was a bad day.
Yeah.
It was not good. Dak probably had his worst game of the season. This goes along with the Chicago game. I thought the pick before the half was really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad interception.
Well, the last pass he threw of the game, that went to the defensive lineman was a horrible pass too.
But I mean, you do kind of have to ask yourself: is this offense the same on the road? They played well, I thought, against Philly, at least for a half.
Mm-hmm.
And they played pretty well against Carolina without CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
But the last two drives, they came up short. But then they've looked terrible now against Denver, and they looked bad against Chicago on the road.
Well, Denver will make you look bad. I just felt like that they were going to. And when Surtain went out, I immediately I started thinking of like, okay, here's your opportunity. But hell, they couldn't. You couldn't. A lot of pressure because of the defense just not getting it done today. A lot of pressure on the offense, but man, the offense didn't come to play today either.
No, and it really started where if you drive to the 1 yard line after the interception, you needed to get a damn touchdown.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. Yeah,
you can't be kicking a field goal.
Can't be kicking a field goal. Can't be jumping off sides.
No, from then on, it was just
legal
absolutely
motions,
awful.
Yeah.
877-881-1053. The lines are full. We're going to get to you on the other side. We'll also hear from Brad Sham, Brian Schottenheimer, and trust me, we're going to unpack everything that you can think of. We're rocking until 9:30 with you here on the official postgame show of the Dallas Cowboys. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
everything. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. WinStar World Casino and Resort, proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Nick's in the gun. Safety blitz from the left side by Bell. Throws it in the end zone. Franklin's all alone. Standing all alone. Touchdown Broncos. They blitzed the safety, Marquise Bell, who couldn't be back because he was up. And nobody covered Troy Franklin. And the Broncos are about to be up 14-3.
6 for 89 and a pair of touchdowns for Troy Franklin, the teammate of Bo Nix there at Oregon. He caught 2 of the 4 touchdown passes for Bo Nix today, who had 117.4 rating, 19 of 29, 247. Did whatever he wanted after that initial interception to Bridges on the opening drive, 44-24. Cowboys lose on the road to Denver. They're 1-3 now away from AT&T Stadium, 3-4-1. As a whole, 1-4, I should say, away from AT&T Stadium. That might be something to discuss. I mean, does this team look very different to you away from AT&T on the road? I mean, they certainly have not played. Their 2 worst losses are on the road this year. 877-881-1053, the number to call, the number to text. Let's get to the phones. Brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Zach Wolchuck alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. Let's go out to Dallas. We got Francois, who's been waiting. What's going on, Francois?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. And if you could put me on hold so I could hear your response, I'd appreciate it. Bryan, I said this about 3 weeks ago to my best friend. Of course, he's a diehard Cowboy fan, so he doesn't see deeper into what's really going on. On the defensive side of the ball, if you notice, the Broncos were attacking the edges in the run game.
Yeah.
Now, I looked up the average weight of an NFL defensive end across the league about a month ago, which is 272 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboy defensive ends average 243. So when you don't have enough junk in the trunk, it's going to be hard to set the edge, especially when you have a linebacker. And I think I was getting ready to disagree with you guys until you got to your last point about if they do go out into free agency and they sign somebody, it's not going to be for this year. No. This team is not going anywhere, and the reason they're not is because there's too much to fix. Your ends are terrible. You don't have any linebackers. I think I told you last week they don't have a free safety on the roster. Now they're depleted. And as you mentioned earlier, when Hooker and Wilson were back there, from start to finish, they've been terrible. So my point is, the entire defensive operation is jacked up. And like you said earlier, Bryan, the offense didn't play well either. Now, granted, you got to give Denver some credit. They're a very, very good defense, even without Patrick Surtain being in the game. But I'll go back to last week. I had a problem when they were backed up on the 1, if you remember. They couldn't run the football off the goal line and got dropped for safety.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to be a physical football team, a smash-mouth running football team, then you can run the football off the goal line and you don't get hit for a safety last week. So I think they are a good offense, and I choose my words carefully before I end this. I think they're a good offense, but a championship offense would have scored 30 points or more today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for the call, Francois. Any thoughts on that call, Bryan?
No, I'm good.
Okay. 877-881-1053, the number to call, the number to text. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
Your turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Hello, baby.
KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas-Fort Worth.
An Odyssey sports station.
All right, we'll get back to your phone calls in just a minute, but we are now joined by the legendary voice of your Dallas Cowboys, the great Brad Champ, back in Denver. Brad, 44-24, This one got a little out of hand. What were your initial takeaways if you had maybe 30 minutes to kind of digest this?
Yeah, I mean, Zach, I think, you could have seen a lot of it coming. Look, we said before the game last week, the way their defense is, they have to score 6 times to give themselves a chance to win. Today they scored 3 because that was maybe the best defense in the league, if not one of the best 2 or 3. And so they were not able to handle that. And that's a combination of superior players and an excellent scheme that makes them even harder to play. And then on the other side, hey, they are what they are. You know, that's why I spent the last part of the game telling people, don't get your underwear in a knot over this. This is who they are. And if you thought that Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton and Dobbins, if you thought those guys could not punish them, then you're just lost with your head in the clouds. And so today was a little bit of the worst of everything. And you know, you're down corners and safeties. Mm-hmm. And when your starters are there, I mean, Bland is playing pretty well, but when your starters are there, you're probably below average. But they will play better than this over the course of the year on defense. It probably won't be good enough. Now, I'd just like to tell the last guy that Micah Parsons was about 240-something pounds.
Yeah, I was in a mode of just, while you were talking, Brad, top 5 defenses right now, Seahawks, I'm just about run defenses. I was going to go on a search. Seahawks, Patriots, Packers, Browns are the top 5 when it comes to yards per carry. So I was about to dive into those guys, seeing where we're at.
I mean, there's no 280-pounders. You know, Myles Garrett's a big guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the problem is not their size. The problem is they're playing poorly. Sam Williams has played very poorly. Mm-hmm. Dante Fowler's had one good game. Marshawn Nealon has been trying to get healthy, and since the first game when he had a sack and I thought did okay, he really hasn't done anything. So when you traded Parsons, I'm not saying it was a good idea to trade Parsons. I don't have an interest in litigating that again, but I wouldn't defend it. But when you did it with the expectation that the ends that you had were going to be representative, as Rocco's coming on, and didn't have a chance to show it today. That was also, a pretty good offensive line. And I think maybe their offense gets overlooked a little bit, but this is who the Cowboys defense is. Some weeks against a different kind of an offense, they may play better, and they played better last week, and they may play better next week. But this is just the team they have right now, and they're going to have to just get by, do the best they can, play it as well as they can until they get through the season and can address the personnel issues.
Does this game change anything for you in terms of your thinking and maybe what their thinking is at the deadline coming up?
I'm going to say no, but I think that if you won this game, then you might have been willing to take a bigger risk to get goodness knows what, especially if Max Crosby's unavailable. I love Hendrickson, but he's a rental, and he's a rental in his 30s with a little bit of injuries. So that would only be a deal you would make if you thought you were going to go deep into the playoffs. I'm not against adding players, adding talent if you can get it, but I don't. And by the way, one thing I am against is saying, well, we're not going to make playoffs anyway, so screw it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't believe in that. I want to do the best I can, and but I would say I would acquire a player that would not be just for this year, but that would help me this year, and maybe play a little bit better. And who knows what happens? I mean, if you win here. Look, nobody wants to hear this, but nobody wants to hear a lot of the things I say, and I say them anyway. If you win these next 2 Monday night games, that's not an unreasonable thing to say with the teams they're playing. Now you have to steal a couple of games against teams you're not supposed to beat from, Philly on. And I wouldn't say it's likely they would do that, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. And if you have a better team, then you might. Who knows? Scadaboo's leg today makes the Giants a different team. Saquon was in and out, and he's got some. These things all change. So I wouldn't be, Zach, opposed to adding talent. I'd be careful what I gave up. I'd want to make sure I was being smart with my resources. But I just want to go out and have the best record I possibly can and see where that leaves me.
Brad, the quarterback looked human today for your football team. And it was, do you think it was more what Denver was doing to him, Vance Joseph doing to him, or just like his guys around him today?
I mean, there's a little bit of all of that, as you well know, Brian. When we watch the tape tomorrow, we're going to see the protection wasn't what it's been all year. But I thought Guyton was up and down. Steele had a rough day. But I don't think Prescott didn't get hit ever on any throw, and I don't think that's happened. So for me, it's a great combination between the Denver players and the scheme. They've got like 5 exceptional players, maybe 6, who, by the way, they've taken the approach with their defense that the Cowboys have taken with their offense. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about 5 guys who are 5 or 6 guys who are under contract for at least 3 more years. So they're going to be this way for the foreseeable future. And the Cowboys kind of taken that approach with the offense. So now they've got to work on that. But so I'm going to say that the quarterback looked human today, mostly because of Denver's players and their scheme. Remember, Vance Joseph's in what year as the coordinator? 3? Something like that?
Yeah, I think 3 is right.
Yeah, he's been there as long as Sean has, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 3 years to build the system, bring in players to work the system, and then they're going to make it hard on a lot of people with the way they can zone blitz and straight blitz and mask the blitz, and then they got far enough ahead. They didn't care about blitzing. They rushed with 4 and just played zone, and that's how you can play. So I'm going to say it was the Denver defense mostly today. And, if you don't have all of those penalties, and, I'd love to know what happened on the interception where it looked like Lamb never saw the ball coming down in, the third quarter? Some of those things might change the momentum. You got to be good enough to score on that first possession of the game. All those little things work their way in, but I'm not concerned about that. He is human, and he'll come back fine, and I give most of the credit to that to Denver.
Brad and I were watching, just based on the TV copy here, but did CD look right to you, Brad? Bryan and I were wondering if maybe he was hurt.
A little gimpy.
Well, he did. I absolutely know he tweaked the ankle at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a play that, and we had it, that Christie reported that he didn't go to the tent, but they looked at him. But I don't remember if he was blocking or it was after a catch, but he definitely tweaked it. And I think that he was not totally himself the rest of the way. I don't think he was incapacitated, but I think the way you put it, Zach, is really good. He just didn't look right when a really good player has a little something that knocks him off his feet a little bit, then it just doesn't look right. And I think that was true of Lamb after whenever that happened, that he tweaked his ankle.
Brad, anything else before we let you out of here, sir?
Yeah, good to have an extra day before the next game.
Well, thank you very much. We can't wait to catch up with you again at AT&T Stadium Monday Night Football.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good night.
There he goes, Brad Sham with us here on the official postgame show of your Dallas Cowboys. We do have big news. This is outside of the Cowboys, but Brian Kelly has officially been let go by LSU.
Surprising because of the payout.
Yeah.
But, man, I'll tell you what, hey, if, it's, like I say, it's something you probably get into during the week. Mm-hmm. I know we got a post-game show to do.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, that was give Texas A&M last night a lot of credit.
No doubt.
That's where you need your program, and Brian Kelly hasn't delivered that.
No.
So, for LSU, it's back to the drawing board and see what the coaching carousel has for the Tigers going forward.
Yeah, I did want to address, obviously, your LSU ties, but a lot of texts coming in about the breaking news that, yes, LSU is firing Brian Kelly. They're going to inform the team later on this night. I'm sure they've already been informed.
Well, they would know,
they're on social media.
And we are a social media team, but that's Pete Thamel is the one that is broken this news. So, Yeah, this is college football. This is real quick, and folks, please, just if you give me a little latitude. This is and I talked about this with the crosstalk that we had today. This is what's difficult for alums to have to deal with. You ask us to give you money for NIL payments. You ask us for millions for the payments of the players. Totally cool by that. But now you're asking me for millions for mistakes that the athletic department has made.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit difficult of an ask. And I'm really, I just don't know when somebody's going to stand up one day and say, no, I'm not. Either you guys figure out how to hire coaches or don't pay them $10 million a year with these huge buyouts.
Yeah.
It's one thing. I am all for giving you money for players. I'm not for giving you money so coaches can go away because of your mistakes within the athletic department. And that's just my 2 cents on that.
Well said. 877-881-1053, the number to call, the number to text. Let's get back to the phones. We got Harrison in Mesquite. Harrison, you're on the official postgame show of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, guys. Normally call in and talk to you guys after the game. I think I'm going to shoot my bullets at the head coach, man, Schottenheimer. Schotty wasn't aggressive enough. It was 20-10 going in before half. It was 4th and 1. You got to go for that 4th and 1. You got to go for it to keep energy into the team. They didn't. They go down 27-10 after that. Yeah, they come back after halftime and score. I'm not for the trade you guys talking about. Okay. I said keep the picks. Okay. The defense, I don't care who we bring, Reggie White, Dion, Ronnie Lott, this not going to be fixed this year. It's the whole organization on the defensive side.
Can I ask you a question real quick, sir? Can I ask you a question? Yeah, okay. Sure. We're going to make a trade here, and we're going to go get that guy from the Raiders. Zach walked you through, it might not be for this year, but the next 2-3 years you have him under contract. You're still not making that trade?
No, because we never should have traded Parsons. No, I won't make that trade.
Okay.
Like the caller call in, the first caller, we had the Marcus Lawrence and the Hall of Fame. We had Parsons. It's always been trouble with this defense.
Okay. So you're gonna say that you're gonna say go ahead and draft. You're gonna go ahead and draft. Use those first round picks to go draft somebody.
Yeah, because I'm relying on the team to get healthy, Diggs to come back, Overshown to come back.
Well, then why wouldn't you make the trade? Because you're going to get Overshown back. You're going to get Overshown back, and it looks like to me you're likely going to get some help from the cornerback from Ravel is going to be back. Now you don't have Diggs, but
you know why I don't make the trade? Yeah. You know why I don't make the trade, Brian? They got an interception the first quarter of the game, and that coach did not keep the same game plan.
Okay, let's not talk about the coach now. Let's talk about why we wouldn't make the trade. You're adamant against it, and Zach has laid it out for you that don't focus on it right now. I mean, yeah, absolutely could help you, but focus on 2-3 years from now because you're going to use those picks for 2, 3, 4 years from now. Why? And do you trust this front office to draft defensive players?
I do, and I think, like you guys said, part of it's been.
Then I can't convince you otherwise. I can't convince you.
Part of it's been the 3 defense coordinators. I think they were drafting for those coaches.
Sure. Yeah, I'm the one that brought that point up. That's my idea. Yeah.
Right. But like I said, this coaching side on the defense side, horrible. Like I said, he threw a pick the first quarter, and he was only blitzing 16% of the first half. Man, if I get an interception, I'm going to put everybody on that quarterback the same way they did that. I'm going to rattle his cage, okay? They were in that game, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Lost that game.
Appreciate you. Thank you, man.
No, I appreciate the call, Harrison. I do think there are things today. I mean, I think the offensive game plan for the first time this year we can really question.
Yeah,
in what Shoddy's decision was, and they went up against the best defense. It was strength on strength.
Yeah.
You had the number 1 overall offense. They had the best defense in football in terms of third down defense, sacks, quarterback pressures. This was going to be a really good test, and the offense did not win that battle today. I do think the fourth, Bryan, we had that same conversation.
We sure did.
You said you should go for it.
Yeah.
I said, if you don't get it, does that then have a negative impact? is it worth it to just take the points? Because if you don't get the touchdown here, then you've just wasted the turnover altogether. I mean, I think passing the ball on the 2nd and goal before the penalty, they should have just been running the football. I didn't like the play call.
That part of it, I thought you got a little cute down there. We've said that before.
All right, we'll get back to the phones, 877-881-1053. A lot of texts coming in. Appreciate all of the feedback. We will get to you 44-24. Cowboys lose in Denver. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Cowboys fans. with you. We're united.
2nd and 10. Toss left to Harvey. Shredding the defense. There he goes, 25, 20, 10. Harvey strolls in. That's a 40-yard score. And the Broncos have their first lead of the day. They just never found him. I'm not sure he was ever touched.
Well, they never gave that lead back as Denver rolls 44-24. They send the Cowboys to 3-4-1, 1-4 on the road. Broncos improving to 6-2 on the year. They've won 5 in a row. They're undefeated at home this year at 4-0. Zach Wolchuck alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus, the official postgame show of your Dallas Cowboys, brought to you by Blockchain. Are you ready to learn a new game and invest like the pros? Don't worry, even the pros were rookies in crypto once. Blockchain.com makes buying, selling, and trading crypto easy. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Your owner, general manager Jerry Jones, spoke to the media post-game, and here's what Jerry had to say.
Jerry, the inconsistency with this team winning one week, losing the other has been pretty staggering. How do you evaluate your team right now, 8 games in?
Well, I am not happy at all with winning 3 ball games at all. And that starts really for what our goals are. Can we play better? Of course we can play better. But we knew coming in here, their front, both their defense and offensive front, was going to be a challenge for us. And we needed to offensively be able to play against a real big-time defense, and they played well, their defense. So I'm more impressed with how they handled us, our offense, because it was up front that made a lot of difference there. Secondly, I thought that we could stop them better defensively. We all saw the same thing out there. We've got a lot of work to do.
Jerry, how long do you guys expect to have Trayvon Diggs on IR?
Again, I don't know. It depends upon he's got an area that's hurt, and that'll have to heal. And so that'll be as we get into it, and we'll see how it goes. He's just generally got to get in better shape to play.
I know you've expect to have him back this season.
Why not? Yes, why not? But there's a little beyond my expectations. We've got to see how he heals from his injury. He hasn't been there physically there in full shape for us.
I know Matt Eberflus is someone who means a lot to you, and you guys know him and have known him for a long time. Have you lost any confidence in his ability to get things on track based on what you've seen from the defense today and some of these games over the last few weeks?
I think after a game like this, you say, boy, we need to make some adjustments. What the truth is, probably some adjustments. More adjustments, maybe late in that second quarter, maybe some more adjustments, that's second guessing, maybe a little more pressure, second guessing, but where he does know how is to evaluate what he's trying to do, and is a good coach in coaching them up of correcting their mistakes and getting them in there. But yeah, I've seen him take players and units, and they improve and get better as he coaches them. I've seen that, and I've seen it more than once. And so he's a good coach.
There's Jerry Jones after a 44-24 loss, still giving the vote of confidence there to Flus. He also did go on to say that the loss today did not impact his mind in regards to trades. If there's a trade out there that can help the football team and make them more of a contender, paraphrasing, that is what Jerry would do.
You know what? I totally like the option that you've given me. Could it help today? Sure, absolutely. But if you get somebody that you can use next year, the following year after that, that's to me, that's just as good. I mean, yeah, do I want help right now? Sure. Do I want this team to be better? Do I want this team to beat Carolina and Chicago? Sure. Absolutely I did. Do I want them to play better against Denver? But yeah, I did. But you're in a situation right now where, if you have an opportunity to go get one of those big-time players, because like I said, I do not trust right now them drafting defensive players when it comes to these defensive linemen, especially if you're talking about edges and stuff like that. I just do not trust them. And a lot of it has to do with maybe the situation. They have got to figure out the coaching situation and how involved coaches are in this evaluation period.
Yeah, it's just and you're such a great resource to have because you lived it and you ran a draft in Philly and you've been part of the Cowboys and the Packers when it comes to drafting in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many teams are using the coach? Because here's my fear with that. I do think it's important, and I think that Will and the scouts do an excellent job from my understanding of communicating, like, okay, what do you like in players to the coaching staff? Yeah. And we're going to try and marry that. But there's so much uncertainty and year-to-year change where I don't know that it's benefiting you drafting for coaches. How long is that coach going to be there?
See, that's the problem that Will really runs into, and Will should wear some of this, and he does. You know, people out there are like, when's Will McClay going to get blamed? He gets blamed. I'll blame him, and he knows it. He knows that they're not doing a good enough job. But the problem that Will McClay has because of this organization, and it's not completely at the top, even though, yes, the top has its issues, but it's the coaches, it's the scouts. He's in the middle trying to make too many people happy instead of just going out there and saying, I want to take J.J. Watt. Okay, and I don't give a damn what you say, Rod Marinelli. Mm-hmm. And listen, I am not interested in taking Tristan Hill, Rod Marinelli. You know, and I guarantee Mrs. Marinelli's might be listening. I've gotten texts from her before.
We love you, and Rod's a sweetheart.
But yeah, but I'm just saying when you start to talk about their misses, Dan Quinn, if Will McClay's drafting Mozzie Smith because of Dan Quinn. I guarantee you these coaches, and I lived it, these coaches have a big, big, big influence on how they evaluate their team.
Yeah.
And if you tell me that's going to remain the same, then I'm probably going to say they're not going to have a good draft when it comes to defensive players. I actually trust, because I think that these offensive coaches, when you start to talk about the offensive line coaches and stuff, I think they know what they want to do from players.
Connor
I
Riley
think the
came
receiving
from the college
coach,
route. Yeah, Junior Adams, college guy.
I trust them more than I trust these defensive guys.
Yeah,
because I've seen it. I've seen it not work here for the last 3 years when it comes to defensive players.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Let's hit Vinny in Jersey. Vinny, you're on the official postgame show of the Cowboys. How you doing?
Good. You guys are good.
Hey, Vinny, can you do us a favor? Can you pick up your phone? We can't hear you.
Are you on speaker?
Yeah. Can you take us off speaker?
Okay. You got it?
Yeah, you got
perfect.
it, buddy.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Vinny.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys are the greatest. I mean, I listen to you all the time. I agree with 99 and 9/10 of the time.
Thank you.
And Brian, you hit it on the head. I blame part of the coaching staff.
Sure.
Defensively. Okay. I also blame Jones.
Yeah.
I am tired of hearing Jones, the two Joneses say, "Oh, we're very happy with the roster and the makeup of the roster."
Sure.
They got to be blind.
Amen.
Yeah.
If you're hiring a coach that is zone, then you get your zone players, whether it's free agent or drafting. Yeah. And here's another thing with the draft, and I agree with you again, Brian. You got Bland that was coming back from an injury. You had Diggs that was coming back from an injury. Yeah, you draft Fravel.
Yeah.
Why do you draft Fravel? And then now you're going to have to wait. He's not even going to be as good next year. So now you just wasted 2 years for a cornerback. I mean, and Guyton, why are you drafting a left tackle who is a right tackle, who is a project that they've mentioned on one of the best? It's part of, what did they say? The three best players are a quarterback, an edge rusher, and your left tackle. Yet they draft a right tackle to play left tackle, and who's a project? I mean, I agree with you. The drafting process now is not that good. And I'd like to hear you off time.
Oh, no. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate you.
I appreciate the call, Vinny.
Your tackles today out of 42, your starting tackles, they were by themselves, by the way, 93. Actually, Steele was by himself 93% of the dropbacks today. Guyton was by himself 88% of the dropbacks today. Your offensive tackles in 42 dropback passes were at Steele had 5 pressures, Guyton had 4. Where you had some problems today is was your inside guys, where there was 8 pressures and your 1 sack.
Zach Allen.
Yeah, came from the inside. So as a whole, you thought that you would be able to go into this game and potentially win the inside 3. You really didn't win the inside 3, and you knew there were going to be problems on the outside. But to his point, he's talking about drafting guy. I just, like I say, until you tell me that the coaches are not going to be the end-all, be-all for this group, then the drafting, especially defensively, I have my questions.
I think you've got to just allow your scouts to do their job, and you've got to just draft.
Now the scouts might be horse-ass too.
That's possible.
The scouts might be horse-ass too.
And we'll see this year, because I do think this was more of the scouts draft in terms of what Shoddy was kind of telling us. Like, I still believe in Donovan Ezeraku. Yeah. I think, and we'll see, how the tape looked today. I get it. Like, Donovan Ezeraku has not lived up to the expectation we had coming out of camp, where we were like, holy moly, could this guy be a 10-sack rookie type player? He hasn't, right? He's got 1 sack on the season, but I think he's been getting better every year. Revel, Vinny, in the 3rd round to take a player that I think would have been a top 12 pick if healthy, arguably the best corner in the draft. That's worth the gamble in the 3rd round.
Yeah, that's the general manager that's not going anywhere. That's what the general and I know everybody out there is going, oh, that's probably why we have all these problems.
Yeah,
but
and that's fair.
That's fair. And that's it. But if you're a confident that you're not going anywhere, you could take a guy with a knee injury in the 3rd round. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys have a history of that, and has it worked out good? Bruce Carter was okay. Sean Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had some guys, I think, late. Now, is it the type of career that's 10, 12 years? No, it's absolutely not. But like I said, there's blame to go around for all these folks.
All right, a lot of you waiting patiently. We will get to your calls. I promise you also hear from Brian Schottenheimer, more player audio. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
The big game is over, but there's more to come. More.
Cowboys fans deserve Pepsi. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com and by DallasCowboys.com. Keep track of the boys with daily podcasts and up-to-the-minute blogging at DallasCowboys.com and on the official Dallas Cowboys app.
10-point Denver lead. They're looking for more. Back to throw. Flag. Free play. Throws it in the left corner of the end zone. Bryan got right behind the cornerback Bridges for the touchdown Broncos. 24 yards. Perfect strike from Bo Nix.
One of many 20-plus yard plays for Denver today, as you had several players. I mean, you had a 25-yard run, a 40-yard run, you had a 26-yard catch, a 39-yard catch, a 24-yard catch, an 11-yard catch. A lot of explosive plays today for Denver. 44-24 Broncos improving to 6-2. They send the Cowboys to 3-4-1. Zach Wolchuck alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. We'll hear from Brian Schottenheimer here in just a second. Want to get back out to the phones as you just cheered for America's team on the field. Now see them on the reels. Cowboys themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, now at a casino near you. Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. And do you have a gambling problem? Please contact 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over. Let's head out to Ron in Cedar Hill, who's been waiting patiently. Ron, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for taking my call, guys. Just a few things. I want to use some alliteration to start out this call. Today's performance was dejecting, disappointing, and dysfunctional. I don't understand why the Cowboys are not as aggressive on the road as they are at home. I believe a previous caller called, we had a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 1. We had a 4th and 5. The best facet of our team is the offense, and you have Aubrey as a weapon. And my whole thing is it's a whole mindset change that needs to happen with the coaching staff. We need to put the onus on the defense to stop us because we know that our defense can't stop anyone. I don't care who's out there, who gets healthy, our strength lies within our offense. So with that being said, you have to be aggressive and put the onus on the other team's defense. And also, with making an in-season trade, I don't agree with that. We need to ride what we got because unless we draft make a trade for the Avengers or Alvin Mack or Lattimore from the program, there's no fixing this defense. We need to ride the offense all the way, all day, be aggressive, and put the onus
for you,
on
sir.
the defense.
Question for you, sir. Question.
Yes,
once again, I'll ask you. Zach is trying to propose a trade of getting a big-time player in here that can maybe help you this year with some of the stuff you want to do, but also help you for 2, 3, 4 years from now. You interested in making this trade?
No, sir, because let me ask you this. Does Dak have 3 or 4 more years of good football? Does CD have
let me ask you this then, sir. And and maybe not. But if you go out, can you afford to wait for a rookie that you pick, say, at 31 to help you this in 2026?
No, not at all. That's a great point. But what I'm saying is we don't wait for a rookie. We capitalize on what we have now, similar to Peyton Manning. We have a great offense. Let's capitalize on
I don't
that
know
and
about
worry
great.
about the rest later.
I don't know about great.
Right, but Ron, I guess Ron, let me ask you this then. If we have a great offense and you want to capitalize on that now, your rebuttal to does Dak have 2, 3, 4 years left?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So if you want to capitalize now on the offense, why do you not want to go get a defensive player to try and help this thing now to capitalize on the offense? Because if the offense is so good, is an extra couple stops a game all you need to possibly get some wins?
No, not at all. No, so let me put this on your brain. We need to have a Madden mindset. Okay. Ain't no one player going to change the defense. We need to have 4 players. We need to get 2.5 yards to keep our offense on the field because we have great playmakers with Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Ferguson. We need to have a Madden mindset right now, and no one defensive player is going to change that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the call.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I appreciate the call, Ron. Yeah, so I guess like the 4th and 1, which was late second quarter. Cowboys are down 20-10 at their own 29.
I just think you got a great idea, bro.
I mean, I'm with you.
I think you got it. It might help you now. It might help you in a couple of games.
Oh, the trade thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
absolutely.
where I'm at.
I
don't have a guarantee that I'm going to be able to I'd rather get the proven commodity. And I get it. Like, I love the draft. I love picking.
I do too. I love
the draft. I'd rather get a player that I know is legit than risk missing.
You absolutely are correct. It's not so much about 8 or 9 games in 25. It's about games in 26 and 27 is what you need to think about. So and there's no guarantee with the way that they've drafted defensive players around here. Not since the Micah Parsons draft.
And hey, if there's a player out there. Or there doesn't turn out to be a player out there, then I get it. Like, if all you can do is maybe it's Jalen Phillips from Miami, and if you're giving up a 4 and he's on an expiring contract, I get it. Like, if it ends up being a trade like Mingo last year, where it's like you feel like you're just trading to trade,
sure,
I'm not going to be overly excited by that.
No.
I understand being critical of that, but I'm not against. I know. As I've said, I'm not against moving any ones or a second or whatever it might be to get a player that I'm going to have control of for the foreseeable future. That's not just a fix now, but it's a fix moving forward as well. And I'm checking off a box on this rebuild of the defense.
I agree. I totally agree.
All right, let's go to Edgar in Frisco. Edgar, how are you doing? Edgar, what's going on, man?
Edgar.
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you.
What up? I'm going to state the obvious. I disagree with the previous caller, Ron, but the reality for me is 2 things. Number one, the accountability has to be we got to ratchet up what we're asking from these guys at a coaching staff level. I get it. We might not be a top 5, top 8 defense, but this is truly embarrassing. I honestly, my heart don't believe we could beat A&M. I don't think we could beat DeSoto, Cedar Hill. This defense is embarrassing. This guy today, this Harvey, R.J. Harvey, he hadn't rushed for 50 yards all year long. Today, he looked great, again, against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We have not figured out what's the best way to maximize our potential. I'm not saying we're a playoff team, and I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl like I do every year. But, man, at some point, we got to have a little pride. And this guy, what's his name, Matt Eberfleur, I get it. He may have had 1 or maybe 2 top 10 defenses in his career, but this is getting worse and worse. We're out of pocket every single offensive drive or defensive drive. Okay, we can't tackle. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
We've got a decent offense. Not great. I think decent. We can definitely keep up with some of the guys. But this defense is so embarrassing. I mean, we're getting where we're getting. 31st, 32nd in rushing, all of the above stats, because this guy can't get it together.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. We lost Micah. It is what it is. But, man, we got to figure this thing out.
Thanks, really man. Appreciate the call. I really do. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you, Edgar. I don't think the Cowboys are making any move in season when it comes to the coaching staff, at least that coordinator. Flus might not be here next year.
Sure.
That's very possible.
And then here we go again, the same old thing.
Exactly.
With the same cycle.
And then you'll have to have the buy-in questions and all those same things next year with the new defensive coordinator. Yeah. I do think it's very evident to me, in my opinion. What makes a great coach is, can you do more with less?
Yeah.
I don't think Wade Phillips, prime Bill Belichick is making this defense look good.
Probably not.
I think this defense, and I went, and you know this if you listen to the postgame show, I gave Flus covering fire because I think this defense is bad. I think the talent's bad. I think the players are bad. So I don't think it's all on him.
Yeah.
But he's not helping.
No.
He's not.
No.
So, I mean, I think you're seeing this with Matt Patricia in Ohio State.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia was one of these guys that he had to go to college because he'd been fired from the NFL.
Right.
Now he's rebuilt his resume, and he's going to be a very attractive coordinator hire this year. And why is he looking so good? He might have 3 first-round picks on that defense at Ohio State. Great players can make coaches look really good. Now, he also, I think, is a good coach.
Yeah.
But the great coaches are the ones that can find a way to kind of do more with less. You're not seeing that from Flus. So I think all of the criticism on Flus right now, totally warranted, totally fair, but I also don't think any coach is necessarily coming in and putting lipstick on this pig.
No.
Their players are bad on that side of the football.
I agree.
All right, let's go to Randy in California. Randy, what's going on?
Hey, thank you guys for taking my call. I just wanted to sit there and say, some people talking about, doing some trades and stuff like that. I totally disagree with it. You can get – this team is – the Broncos should have had, 50-something points. Those drop passes in the end zone. And even with Bo Nix was throwing some of those – in some of those plays, he was throwing the ball less than 2 seconds. You can get that guy from Oakland. He's not getting to the quarterback consistently in 2 seconds. This team needs help everywhere and anywhere on that defense. And – I think with the linebackers, you got two really athletic guys in like Leofau and Overshown when he comes back. I think this linebacker core is missing someone who has the smarts and intelligence, like how Van Der Esch helped Clark, how Sean Lee helped, the other linebackers, like, hey, it's coming here, fill this gap. That's what they're missing. And there's plenty of dudes in this draft that's coming. And even if the Packers pick is 31, 29, no one says you have to take a defensive player there. You just take the best player. We took Ezekiel Elliott rookie and Dak rookie, and it changed that offense completely.
You know they won't do that, right? They'll take best player by need is what they'll do.
Well, then shame on them. Then
that's exactly right. That's what I'm trying to argue with. I mean, that's what we're trying to have this discussion. Shame on them. There's too much shame on them when it comes to drafting defensive players.
But they had. This last draft was pretty good. Taking Izaraku and Siobhan Ravel, when the scouts are sitting and say, we have these guys projected here. Yeah, there's a little setback, but you got to wait.
How about the defensive linemen that they've taken?
It's been pretty poor, but at the same time, that goes with the coaches. They took Taco over TJ Watt.
No question. That's the point we're making. That's what we're saying.
The exact thing.
We want to replace the coach, and then it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same potential cycle of somebody coming in here, and then the coaching staff takes over the drafting of the players again. And then maybe you potentially waste those picks again.
Yeah, like they drafted Sam Williams, Randy. He's not good. They took him in the second round.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not even going to talk about the rookies on the team right now because these guys, they need some time. I'm going to give them some grace, right? It's Mozzie Smith, bad. We'll see about Maris, to your point. But overall, in Marshawn Nealand, he's in year 2. But are you excited what you're seeing from Marshawn Nealand? That's the risk. And I love the draft, Randy. I do. I'm all about, hey, if they don't make a trade, I'm going to be thrilled to talk about 2 first-round picks in what you're going to have coming up in April. But I don't know for sure that those picks are going to be able to come in and really help. If I can get a legitimate stud defensive player that you're telling me I know for sure is going to come in and make an impact, you would be against making a trade, Randy. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, because the only three players I can instantly see that doing are 28, 29, and 31 in age.
Oh, age-wise, okay.
Yeah, so how many years are you going to get quality prime level play?
Yeah, but I think how I'm looking at it here, Randy, is Dak, right? You've got a very minimal window here. Nobody knows how long it is with Dak Prescott, and their eggs are in the Dak basket. We can roll our eyes and talk about if you believe in Dak or not. They do. They believe in Dak. So you need to prioritize this Dak window now, Randy. The draft pick that might be here for 4 years, I need that 28-year-old realistically to maximize that window.
Yeah, well, right now we're seeing the best that Dak has ever played. Agreed?
Agreed.
And that's because of Schottenheimer, right? You think?
A little bit. I think that's a part to it, yeah.
I think the weapons in the offensive line have been particularly good.
The weapons, offensive line, that sounds like anything that'll make a lot of quarterbacks very good and have a solid run game. So you keep Schottenheimer. He's the head coach. I don't think he's here for 1 year. He's going to be here next year. If you think he's the coach that they think that he is, the offense should still be clicking next year. With the defense, like I said, that 31st, that 29th, someone might want to trade up and get a quarterback. That's what they're going to give up, a second and a third. That gives you more picks.
Mm-hmm.
This defense needs defensive linemen, linebacker help, safety help. And I totally agree with you guys. I don't think the coaches should have that much involvement. I think it should just be the head coach.
Thank you, man. Appreciate the call. Thank you, man. We got to get going.
Randy. Had a good conversation, good back and forth there. All right, we'll get back to your calls. We will hear from Brian Schottenheimer on the other side. We've also got CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, Dak Prescott. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
From retirement.
through December 31st, 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Valid only at participating locations.
And Prescott's in the gun, 3rd and 5. 4-man rush, pressure, spins away from a sack, and then he is buried. The leading sacking team in the league, and the Greenville, Texas native John Franklin Myers just overwhelmed him. That protection just fell apart for a loss of 13.
One of 2 sacks. John Franklin Myers had one. Zach Allen getting the other one for that Broncos defense. I think they're up to 36 sacks on the year now, 44-24. Cowboys losing to the Broncos on the road. And, of course, the post-game show brought to you by the all-new National Medal of Honor Museum in Arlington. It brings the stories of America's greatest heroes to life through virtual experience and exciting interactive technology. Plan your visit today at mohmuseum.org. Zach Wolchuck alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. We'll get back to the phones in just a minute. 877-881-1053. Always the number to call, the number to text. But let's hear from Brian Schottenheimer after today's 20-point defeat.
I think was the biggest issue today on your defense?
I think, when you look at it, I'm not just going to start with the defense. I don't think any of us coached or played well enough. We knew we'd have to come in and own the line of scrimmage. I think it started up front. You got to give Denver a lot of credit. I think they moved us around pretty good. Had some big explosive runs, and that's hard. But, I told the guys, I said, look, it's one game. We did not play well. We did not coach well. We're going to get right back to work tonight. And if you let it bleed over into 2 and 3 games, then that means you're not a competitor, because this happens in this league.
When you got 3 points in that first possession, you look back and say, maybe we should have had 7. Then the second possession, you had some penalties there that kind of messed you up.
Yeah, definitely. A chance for sudden change. We get the turnover right away. We're down there on the half-yard line. I didn't see the penalty. But, the discipline, has to be better. I felt like there was 4 or 5 pre-snap penalties in the first half that definitely hurt us. You come into a tough place to play like this, you have to do a great job of having the discipline, and you got to score touchdowns in the red zone because there's big momentum gains that happens when you do that. So, unfortunately, we did not do that. I thought the guys fought. I thought they battled. But at the end of the day, we did not coach or play well enough today to beat a good football team.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. You talked about Dak's play. Thought a key turning point was early at the end of the half when he took a chance down the middle. Then he had a field goal in his back pocket. Was he pressing, or because you had to score touchdowns, not self-fulfilling?
I don't think so. I think we all felt it. Clarence. It was one of those deals where it was hard to get into a rhythm a little bit. They played us 2-man, and he had a chance to go down the middle on Fergie, and it was, I think, the rookie, Barron, kind of looked back and got it. But I don't think so. I think, at the end of the day, Dak's done a great job of trying to just say each play is its own, and, I don't think that. I think that, but we have to win the takeover battle. We didn't do that. We've been doing that really, really well, and so, you have the one right before the half, then you have the other one right, down there late when we're fighting our butts off, try to get back in it. And that's not who we are. But, no, I don't think that it had him pressing or anything like that.
If you get a game like this and know you have to match touchdown for touchdown score, because the way your defense was certainly playing early, you have to score with them.
Yeah, we feel like we can play, with anybody no matter how the game goes. We really do. And, again, unfortunately today we did not capitalize. I really do think the first drive that we had, I think, we need to come away with 7 there. That was disappointing that we didn't. But again, this is a good football team, talking about us, that did not play very well today. We did not coach very well today. I wasn't very good today. I don't think Flus thinks he was very good today. Clayton doesn't think he was very, very good today. So we'll look at it. We're going to look at it on the plane, and we've got the extra day this week to get ready for Arizona, and that's what we're going to do. That's what good teams do. I told the guys that. I said good teams, they look at it, they look in the mirror. Adversity is a good thing, and no one likes to lose, and it's a humbling league when you come in here and you play a good football team and you kind of get beat the way we did, but get back to work.
Hey, Shotty's got he's the head coach of the team, and so he's going to say that they are a good team. 8 games into the season, I think the offense is good. I don't know that right now, this isn't a good team right now. You look at they beat the 1-7 Jets, they beat the 2-6 Giants, and the 3-4 Commanders. Now, I see a lot of that coming through on the text and a lot of that on social media right now. They also tied Green Bay, who's 4-1-1, could have easily won that game, and they were probably just a couple of CeeDee Lamb drops away from beating the Eagles. Now, it's a big what if, and nobody cares. Bottom line is you lost those games, you lost to the Bears and the Panthers.
Yeah.
So right now, I kind of lean like I don't think they are very good. I think one side of the ball is good. I think the other side is the worst in football. And so what does that equal? An average team, maybe?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
it's
to
tough.
Me, it's really, really tough. And, and he's always going to try and be accountable for what, and he's not wrong. I mean, he was poor today. His defensive coaches were poor. They didn't do anything particularly well today. Quarterback was off. They really didn't block. They didn't run like they normally run. The defense has been just horrendous. It's you knew going in that it could be one of those games where you were going to have to maybe shoot this. Put it this way. I'm not going to say that I thought it was going to be a shootout game. I should walk this back a little bit. I thought you had the better quarterback going into this game.
You thought the Cowboys offense would put up points.
I thought, even though Denver was so good, and it wasn't just what the Giants did, but there's been games you watch them play the Colts. You watch
ran the ball on them well.
Yeah, you watch teams that have a good offensive line and the quarterback that looks competent as a player. I thought that was going to be a problem for Denver today on defense. And then when their best corner went out, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Now we'll go wear these guys out. But man, you just did not get anything from your head coach, your defensive coordinator. You didn't get anything from your quarterback, your line, you didn't get anything today that you needed to win that football game.
And I agree with some of the calls. I mean, that 4th and 6 that they had in the third quarter, I definitely thought, like, why are you punting? You can't punt. You needed to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, there's points and times where, like, I've tweeted this out before. This is the point in the game where you can't punt anymore.
Yep.
You have to think about going. And I had it loaded up, ready to go, and I'm like, people don't want to hear this from now.
All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
Your turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Go low, baby.
KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas-Fort Worth.
An Odyssey sports station.
All right, let's get back to the phone. Zach Wolchuck alongside the Super Bowl winning scout, Bryan Broaddus. Just a quick update for you. If you're interested, what's going on in Sunday Night Football right now? It is the Rodgers versus Packers game in Pittsburgh. As Aaron Rodgers taking on his former team, Green Bay leading 7-6 right now. Jordan Love 8 of 10, 104 yards and a touchdown pass to Tucker Kraft. So there's your Sunday Night Football update. Let's get back to the phones. Let's head out to Houston. Eric in Houston calling in. What's going on, Eric?
Hey guys, great show. I've been a fan since 1977. The last time they beat the Broncos, it seems.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I mean, what would you give up for Max Crosby? I wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks. Also,
why not?
Clark trade. Why not? Because you draft picks as collateral. You might have a better deal, in April, like you said. So I wouldn't give up 2 first-round draft picks for.
Well, if you gave up, would you give up each one of those Packer picks? Then is what you would try and do?
I'll give up a first-round pick, but not 2 first-round draft picks.
You're probably not going to get it done for that then.
Well, I mean, maybe throw in Trayvon Diggs if they want him.
Okay.
But also, when Jerry Jones finally goes away,
yeah.
Do you think they'll hire a real GM, or do you think Stephen Jones would be?
No, Stephen's your general manager.
Yeah, I think it's going to be status quo.
Stephen's your general manager. This is not changing.
No, and I did try to ask that question last year. We get Steven on every Friday at 3 p.m. on the G-Bag Nation, and it's kind of a sensitive question to ask.
Yeah, you don't ask if your dad dies,
right?
What are we going to do at the? How are we going to? Yeah.
Because it's tough. You're dancing around that. Obviously, it's a morbid question, but I do know that's something fans want to know. So I tried to ask it the best way I could, but Steven did answer it I kind of would like to work with my dad as long as possible. Sure. And I respected that answer. I understood it. But I do think that this thing's going to continue to be run the way it's currently run.
Yeah.
And that's not going to change. So if that's your hope, it's tough. It's tough to really gather hope for change. But maybe Steven would look at it and say, hey, we're not having the ultimate success, and he'd be more willing to do something different than what Jerry is. I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
It might be as simple as them not having coaches involved in the scouting as much as they are, and maybe it turns into I don't have to have everybody's opinion in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Scouts, coaches, Jerry, outside forces, whatever. Maybe that's the thing that needs to change.
Too many voices, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many voices. If it's Will and their national scouts or whoever and how they build the board, as a group build the board, but when it comes to the actual physical drafting of the players, maybe you need to know now who can evaluate and who can evaluate. That's the thing I would hope that might be different.
All right, let's go to Marcus in Arlington. Marcus, how you doing?
Yeah. How you doing, boys?
Good. Marcus, yeah, good.
Well, I had one thing, but now I got a few more things. The main thing I was calling for is you mentioned coaching decisions. I want to know why Shoddy decided to decline those 2 penalties on our 5-10-yard line maybe. They resulted in touchdowns, but, you got to take advantage of every yard you can push the Broncos back because it was obviously clear our defense was struggling.
Yeah.
You got to put the ball in the offensive hands. And people ask me all the time, do I think we're going to win? If the offense doesn't put up at least 40, I don't see us walking away with that. And would I trade 2 first rounds for a Crosby? Like you said, if it gets me him this year and a couple more years down the line,
damn right,
I'll jump on it.
Yeah, there you go.
Jump on it.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Marcus. I just think that highly of the player. I understand wanting to keep your picks, but he's 28 years old. I don't think his game's really aging. I think he's going to age well.
He's the one guy that is a complete player, and he's a pressure player. And when you play against a guy like that, he is a nightmare for coordinators to have to deal with. He could be a difference maker in these games. Hey, unfortunately, you saw what happened with the Browns today. And
Myles Garrett,
5 sacks, and they still get their ass kicked.
Cleveland. Maybe you say, you know what, Myles, I know you signed there again, and you requested a trade. Let's get you the hell out of there.
Yeah, I don't think any stone should be unturned there.
You push.
Yeah.
You push for this thing. Let's go to Dope Sick Dave. Dave, what's going on, man? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, guys. Wish we could have come out with a win, but hope y'all are doing good. I got 2 things for y'all. Try to make it quick. Hopefully, I can get to the second because the second is the most important.
We'll go with that one first.
Okay. Well, I'll make the first one super quick. I'm glad we have guys like you that aren't afraid to be, critical of the team. Wolchuck, you even said it at Prime. Belichick couldn't make this defense look good, but we still got Jerry telling us in the postgame that Eberflus can turn rocks into diamonds, and we've seen him do things with an incomplete defense. Sure. Come on now. Now, here's the thing I'm looking at. I'm not, just like you guys, I don't want to get dish a bunch of picks for Crosby just for one season. I'd love, a multi-year sign and trade, right? Mm-hmm. Or, know that he'll re-sign with us once we get him, however it works. I'd be interested in us taking a different approach to building this team.
Okay.
This year's kind of lost. Look at our schedule. There's 3 winnable games, and 2 of those games are the Raiders and Cardinals. Kyler Murray owns us, especially here in Dallas.
True.
And Geno Smith and Genti might gash up this defense, right? What if not just getting Crosby, but a good edge rusher? I'm not saying we can also get Phillips, but maybe even a good middle linebacker, maybe even just an average, above average corner, a couple pieces before they test the market, before there's a market setting price. Even if they're like a 3rd string corner and they would maybe make $8 million, maybe we get them in a sign and trade and we do a 4-year, $28 million, and we at least beat the market. You get what I'm saying? Because the draft isn't it. We wait too long to sign players, and it ends up biting us in the butt.
Okay, so you're going, even if, let's say, a player's contract is expiring, you're going to go after them here at the deadline with the expectation that you're going to get an extension done already, and so you've got them anyway. So even if it was, say, Jalen Phillips, the example I gave earlier, who is on an expiring deal, you trade for a player like that. Doesn't have to be him or a different position. It can be a different position, but you're doing that while also extending him at the same time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
2 to 3 players. It doesn't need to be the absolute, at least one stud, Jalen Phillips and Crosby, and a couple other players. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I don't think our management will do it. But you guys hear what I'm saying? The draft isn't it, and we don't go out and pay outside free agents a lot of money. So why not take a different approach? We got to capitalize on Dak. I'm not even a big Dak guy, but we got to do something different. So
thanks for the call, man.
I appreciate the call. I think a big thing they need to do differently is how they approach free agency as a whole.
Yeah.
And I do love, they've made some trades. I mean, the Pickens trade's been a home run. The Kenneth Murray and Kyrie Elam trade's not so much.
Yeah.
I think one thing they do is probably over-evaluate their draft grades on players from when they've been in the league. I think that's clear. That's been evident. They go after players they liked coming out of the draft, even if they've got 2, 3, 4 years now of NFL experience. And I don't know. I'm sure they have pro grades on them too. But I think a lot of it's like, well, we liked this guy coming out. Let's get him in our building and see if we can resurrect the career. Majority of the time, it doesn't work. But I think they're also in this position now with the drafting because they really don't fill holes in free agency. It's all the bargain bin shopping, and I think Steven's right. If you're going to be buyers the first day or 2 days in free agency, you're probably overpaying. He's right on that. But it doesn't mean you always have to go for the elite free agent. You got to just do a little bit better than trying to get the Jack Sanborns of the world. No disrespect to Jack, but the guys that are there that are the third, fourth-tier free agents. Yeah. You got to do a better job of plugging your holes with better talent and in all avenues of team building. Because if you rely too much on the draft, we're seeing it now, and you have a couple of bad drafts on one side of the ball, you're now going to be looking up, and it's the 2025 defense of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. And that's what you're dealing with here.
Absolutely.
All right, back to your calls and texts. We'll also hear from Dak Prescott. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Oil, the official oil of the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. Guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back, and it's still bigger and better than any chicken sandwich out there. More chicken strips, more Monterey Jack cheese smothered in buffalo and ranch, all on a 5-inch bun. There's so much crispy, cheesy, saucy goodness, you may find yourself speechless when someone asks what's your favorite part. Not because you can't find the words, just because it's hard to talk when your mouth's full with this much deliciousness. The Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back for a limited time. What a burger.
Don't fumble your wax routine. This season, not only are the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders hitting the field with smooth...
the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Flanoy in motion to the left, handoff. Williams diving behind the left guard. Touchdown, Javonte Williams. Oh, is he happy to get that, and did his team need that?
Oh, Javonte Williams, that was our drive of the game, and that one was 11 plays, 59 yards, ending in the Javonte Williams 1-yard touchdown run. Made it 14-10 with 7:29 to go in the second quarter. Cowboys were in this thing. Javonte Williams continues to be a star as he finished with 41 yards, 2 touchdowns on 13 carries, third career multi-rushing touchdown game, second of the year. And he's got 2 multi-rushing touchdown games this season, the most by any Cowboy since Tony Pollard did that back in 2022. That was the bright spot today. Javonte Williams, I'm sure that did feel good getting in the end zone against his former team. Zach Wolchuck alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. We'll get back to the phones in just a minute, but let's hear from the quarterback of your Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, after a 44-24 loss in Denver.
Calvin Watkins, how surprised were you that the offense couldn't get going today the way it has up to now?
Yeah, surprised for sure. It's a good word to use. Frustrated as well, frustrating. Yeah, as you said, right, what we've been doing, what we're capable of doing, didn't really ever get it going. Having an opportunity right there in the first drive of getting down there in the red zone, being able to have a chance to put 7 up and settling for a field goal. That was the start of it, and the rest just kind of followed that, and us not making the plays that was necessary. And credit to those guys, credit to Coach Joseph, defensive coordinator, making it tough on us, and they got the best of us, that's for sure.
Protected the ball pretty good today. You do 2 picks and 1 return. You just press the deal. If you can take us through that one, and you had another one also inside red zone.
Yeah, for sure, definitely a force. That one right before half. They're playing 2-man. Was working the slant to the left, 2-man inside leverage wasn't there, came back and was hoping that, maybe me and Ferg, right, could just kind of make a ball player's play, and the DB made the better play. He turned faster than I wanted him to. Ferg was more on top of him, so the back shoulder wasn't quite the throw, and that's what I threw, and he made the catch, and just a force right there. And then the one later, just pure miscommunication. CD wanted to go around the guy and keep going. I was expecting him to sit it down right and just kind of trust throw it right there. The guy made a hell of a play, and so that's just got to be on the same page, especially in the red zone, especially in a game like this when we're trying to come back and get in the end zone. So 2 unacceptable plays, really.
Yeah, Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys, we've talked several times about the pressure of having to keep up, and often having to score.
Yeah.
Going back to that play through the half, you got a field goal in your back pocket pretty much.
Yep.
And you get the ball start the second half. But it seemed like I'm not settling for a field goal with 30 seconds left. I'm trying to make a big play down the field.
Yeah, well,
that were those situations where I want to score a touchdown, not necessarily settle for a field goal.
Yeah, definitely pressed there. I wouldn't say that was trying to, let's go get a touchdown, but definitely was trying to make the field goal easier. Was trying to get more than what I still think we probably needed 5 or so. Maybe we didn't need anything, right, with Brandon, but trying to make it easier on him. Like I said, it was really working a slant. Slant wasn't there. Great defensive call there. And 2-man was a great call versus the play that we had. And like I said, I forced the throw and wasn't the type of throw that was required in that situation, and really should have just got off of that and progressed. And so, yeah, to your point, that was one of those of, being frustrated, trying to keep up, and just can't do that, period.
So Taylor was off the field a couple of times. It didn't seem like y'all targeted him. I think you could have targeted more. Do you notice when he's not wasn't on the field at all?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely noticed that. It's a lot that goes into that, right? You've got 2 elite guys out at receiver. I don't really honestly care who's guarding them. No disrespect to the guys out there, even Surtain. So, I mean, it's not like, he's out there, I need to attack this other guy. I mean, I was just fine attacking 21, but the opportunities, we didn't make them when they presented themselves, and they did a better job.
There's Dak Prescott after a 44-24 loss to Denver. I mean, I agree with him. I think Denver's the best defense they're going to play all year. I think the Broncos are among the best in the league. I know statistically there's some avenues where they haven't been as impressive as maybe I expected coming into the year, but I think they showed today, especially if they do have Surtain healthy, the fact that the offense didn't do more with him out of the lineup.
That's the thing that bothered me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing that bothered me the most. It's, why does Sean Payton find your guy and you're not finding their guy? You know what I'm saying? That it's like, it was very, very clear. It was very clear what Denver was doing when it came to, and how they were attacking, attacking the Cowboys here. But you couldn't find a way to make that work. I mean, let's be honest. 12 targets at Bridges today.
Wow.
6 of them receptions. 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had 2 passes defensed. Okay. Now, let me tell you this, okay? Chris Abrams' drain for them. 8 targets, 8 receptions, 89 yards. See, now who we need to see, okay, well, who replaced Surtain when this all broke down? Because Riley Moss was on one side, and Jahdae Barron. Now I'll tell you this:
slot corner.
Yeah, Jahdae Barron had 7 covered snaps, and he only had 1 target against him. We all love Jahdae Barron.
Yes,
and
he had the interception before half.
That's what I'm saying. Like, every ball should have been going at Chris Abrams' drain.
Right.
Where because they figured out where your guy was.
Mm-hmm.
They figured out where Bridges was. Yeah. 12 targets.
Or Jaquan McMillan.
Yeah.
One of the other guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. McMillan had 4 targets at him for 2 receptions.
Yeah.
How I get it. Nine balls going at Riley Moss, 4 of them caught for 77 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
But he knocked down 4 of them. What's wrong with finding their, like, it's somebody not in the press box going, hey, by the way, guys, Pat Surtain is not on the field here for like 3/4 of this game. It just that's the unfortunate thing, that you didn't wear their ass out with your guys on their lesser players, because they sure in the hell did it against you.
They did. All right, let's get back to the phones. Let's go to our buddy Big Jim. Big Jim, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for sticking with us and waiting patiently.
Fellas, I'll stick with you till the end of the world, fellas.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Jim.
Everything you do. Look, guys, this shouldn't even be a debate. We have a chance to go get a really good impact player, Crosby, out of Vegas. You go get him. This is not, we're missing major impact pressure players. We should be busy trying to get one. And we got the draft picks. And here's the thing. I wouldn't be as a favor of it, except for the fact that, guys, there's no dominant team in the NFC. We don't know where to see. What we don't want to do is mail it in, not do anything, and look up in 4 or 5 weeks and see, just as a confusing sort of race for the top. And especially when you got Dak performing like he is. Now, look, we've talked about, in order to win, that you got to have, the 37 points.
Mm-hmm.
I think in order to win, your play caller, your head coach, and your quarterback have to be darn near perfect. And Shotty was not perfect at all today. I thought he sucked. He'll probably say he sucks tomorrow after he watches the film.
No, he said it today during his presser.
Yep, I agree.
We've been saying it for it. You can't punt. When you find yourself in this situation where your defense can't stop nobody, you can't punt. You don't have that luxury. What you better be coming into a game with is a play sheet that says, by God, here is a play that's going to get us 2 yards. Here's a play that's going to get us 3 yards. Hey, here's a play that's going to get us 5 yards across the middle, and some little something. You got a plan for that, because your defense is not ever going to put you right now. Going to put you in a position to do well, and that's what you got to have. I thought they came out flat. I tell you, funniest thing. Y'all know old Jesse Holley, your former Cowboy.
Of course.
He's on.
We love Jesse.
just the last time we went lost in Carolina, Jesse, I was listening to him kind of on the YouTubes, on the post game that he does with the guys.
Right.
Watch is over there too. Jeff, we love all them guys. Jesse says, guys, I'm gonna tell you, if Dak doesn't wear a suit when he's playing, he ain't gonna play well. But we showed up in some plaid pants and a turtleneck today, and I thought, dear God, I don't know if this thing goes south. I haven't even heard. I've been listening to y'all. I ain't heard nothing from Jesse, but anyway, listen, love you fellers, and we stick with this team. We're loyal fans, and we'll stick with the team. But dadgummit, some stuff's got to change.
Yep.
And I can't add nothing to anything. What y'all said, there've been a bunch of knuckleheads that's called in that don't know what the heck they're talking about. They need to listen to the freaking G-Bag Nation during the week. So, anyway, listen, love you guys. We'll talk Friday or next Sunday or Monday.
Thank you.
You're the man, Jim. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate
his words, but we've had some really good callers tonight.
We have,
in my opinion. And in my opinion,
I agree.
I think there's some people that have called in, have some really good ideas, some thoughts. It's not the low-hanging fruit stuff. It's hey, how do you try and fix something, or what do you try and do? So I do appreciate Jim's kind words as always. He's so loyal on all our platforms. But I will disagree on one thing. I do think that we've had some good calls tonight.
Yeah, I agree too. Now, I think Jim was probably, just the disagreement on the trades. Yeah, I think that's probably what he was pointing to.
Okay.
But, hey, I you know what? Those callers,
maybe we're knuckleheads for recommending it.
Could be.
Yeah.
And look, it could end up being that Max Crosby and some of the players were legitimately. Mark Davis is like, I'm not trading him, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not. And if you want him, then you're going to have to give me 3 1s. Yeah. And then Jerry and Steven are like, well, kick rocks. And we'd say the same thing.
Absolutely.
So it's not going to end up happening.
No, I would just keep calling and keep trying. I think you've got a brilliant plan. And if you're listening to the program, where have you been? But I think you have a really good plan about it, not just being about 8 to 9 games this year, but how do you build around somebody like that for the coming years?
Right. I want to try and do something that, yes, can help me now, but it's also going to help me. That's where this team is right now.
Right.
At 3-4-1, I'm not sure that they're really going anywhere this year.
No.
I do think the way Dak and this offense is, I want to help them and give them a chance, but I really want to do something. If I'm making a move, it's got to be able to help me more than just this year.
Right.
And then that way, it's not just, we don't have that tunnel vision of, we're just looking at 9 games left.
Right.
And am I getting a rental for 9 games and I'm not going to end up making the playoffs anyway, and then it was a wasted trade. All right, 877-881-1053. Let's sneak one more, and let's go to Ryan in Dallas. Ryan, how are you?
Can y'all hear me all right?
We got you, Ryan.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Brian, I'm in full agreement with you on going out and getting someone. I think you look at all these other teams who go out and, even Roquan Smith, for example, has just been a complete rock there in Baltimore.
George Pickens has been a great player for you.
He has, and he's probably the most fun player to watch in the NFL. It's super fun to watch him do what he's been doing. With all the holes that we're seeing in this defense, where do you stack on what position do you think that they need to go and get? We have a lot of people coming back from injury in the secondary. Secondary has looked extremely poor. The pass rush, poor. You went and got Clowney. I saw Clowney. They pushed him back in coverage today. Maybe on that, I think it was that second drive. I'm seeing Jadeveon Clowney drop back in coverage, which isn't something I want to see.
Sure.
It's who do you guys think can be that rock for this Dallas Cowboys defense?
Yeah, thanks for the call, man.
At some point, thank you guys.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Thanks,
Ryan.
Yeah, we got to get to other folks too.
That's a tough answer, because
give him a position. Give me go defensive line, linebacker, secondary. If you could get an impact player, which group? I mean, I haven't seen like I haven't seen an impact linebacker that somebody's offered.
I know. Like Mario Davis with New Orleans, and he's an old player. But
Wilson at Cincinnati,
he'd be a big help. I don't think Logan Wilson's making the impact that we need.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think he is.
But okay, just help him on your position. Help him on the position.
Honestly, I'd go linebacker, edge, safety. And safety's a massive problem right now, but I think the best safety you could get is Minkah Fitzpatrick, and I think that he is a better name than he is a player right now.
Yeah.
I think he's still good. He's better than anything you've got now.
Right.
But I don't think he's the Minkah Fitzpatrick that was the All-Pro with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, to me, I think the biggest impact would be somebody, man, you need the run defense is atrocious.
I mean, look.
And that's why I was kind of thinking about a linebacker.
Yeah.
But can you get an impact?
Can you get Jeffrey Simmons?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And I know you just traded for Kenny Clark, but
you trade for Kenny Clark, and you also paid Osa Odighizuwa.
And honestly, I don't care. Osa Odighizuwa has been the most disappointing player on the entire roster for me this year.
I understand what you're saying.
I fought for Osa. I thought Osa was worth every penny of that. I've been a big Osa guy, and unfortunately, I haven't seen Osa Odighizuwa making a difference in any of these games.
Yeah.
And that's a position that's supposed to be like the bread and butter spot for a Flus defense.
Absolutely.
And Osa has not been that guy this year, which has been really, really heartbreaking for me to watch because I think very highly of him.
Yeah.
All right, 877-881-1053. That opens up a line. We'll get back to your calls and texts. We'll also hear from George Pickens, CD Lamb. That's next. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build the future. That's why...
burgers from Whataburger. Available for a limited time.
One to snap to Milton, a lot of time, going deep. He's got Tolbert in the right side of the end zone, touchdown. Nice throw by Milton. Laid it right in over his shoulder, over the top of Riley Moss.
Boy, beautiful throw right there.
Really nice throw.
Wow. Excellent throw, excellent catch is Jalen Tolbert being able to get both feet down. That's our What a Play of the game, brought to you by Whataburger and the Salvation Army, doing the most good as Joe Milton came in after the Cowboys waved the white flag. 3 of 4, 58 yards, that touchdown strike to Jalen Tolbert, who finished with 2 for 47 and that touchdown. 44-24, Cowboys lose to Denver. They're now 3-4-1. It is the official postgame show of your Dallas Cowboys. Zach Wolchuck alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. Speaking of wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb catching up with the media postgame. Here's CD.
Yeah, it's all about preparation, man. We got to come out here and execute, do the things that we've always planned to do throughout the early on in the week. And as for us, understanding that it is 17 games, I kind of lose track of what week it is, but I do feel like it's about time for us to start winning consecutively and putting streaks together.
So the offense has been so good at home, and it's had some inconsistencies on the road. I guess when you have that kind of discrepancy, how frustrating is it, and how do you kind of remedy that?
I'm not really thinking about home or away. It's about our performance and how we can dominate. It don't matter where we play. Just continue to be us offensively and continue to, dominate the opponent. And I feel like we didn't do that this week.
You said it's all about preparation. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but was that missing in some ways leading into this game?
Not at all. That's not what I was saying. I was just saying I feel like the way that we prep in a week, that should carry over throughout the game. Us as a unit, as a team, offensively, defensively, and special teams. I feel like we played below our standard, and it showed on the scoreboard.
CD 7 of 74. First game this year that he's played a full game. He left 6 plays into Chicago that he hasn't had over 100 yards on 10 targets. And you and I, we talked about this with Brad. We were watching, and you brought up, like, is CD okay? And I'm like, you're right. He doesn't quite look himself. Brad and Christy had this during the call, that he did aggravate that ankle injury, had to go to the tent, obviously played through it. But something to monitor, I'm sure, this week leading up to the Monday Nighter, because they're going to need him to beat Arizona. Because I agree, Kyler Murray, something clicks for him at AT&T Stadium.
The boogeyman.
Yeah, I don't care what the Cardinals' record is.
Yeah,
you better come to play, or Arizona's going to beat the brakes off you on Monday night, because Kyler's going to be his best self. Yeah. I've seen it way too many times in that building.
Yeah.
Way too many times.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's so funny. We went into this game kind of thinking like, oh, well, Knicks play zone coverage against him and all that. Man, he just tore you up. It's just, I guess it doesn't matter how bad somebody might be.
Players matter.
This is a defense that all of a sudden you find ways to get right playing against it. It's just like,
we can talk man, zone, blitz more, whatever.
Yeah.
If the players aren't any good, it doesn't matter what you're calling.
It doesn't matter. I mean, for example, Troy Franklin's a good player out of Oregon. He had 6 catches for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns today.
Career day.
I guarantee you not one show talked about, and maybe this is on us as evaluators, but it was all about Cortland Sutton. It's about, Pat Bryant.
I was hyping up Marvin Mims. Did have one good return, I will say.
Yeah, absolutely. But, he had 1 target today, Mims had.
Yep.
1 target. And so
Evan Ingram, we talked, longtime Giant.
But yeah, I mean, you got, like I say, Pat Bryant from Illinois. It was really about, it was about their ability. They ran the ball well. Their quarterback played exceptionally well. He really wasn't pressured.
I think that's a huge factor in it.
He just never felt uncomfortable in this game. And that's kind of the reasons why I'm thinking, try and trade and go get somebody to maybe make somebody feel uncomfortable
and
in the
then
game.
In turn, that can maybe help your corners out.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, if you're healthy, I mean, if it's a big if. It's a big if. I mean, we don't know what to expect with Savone Ravel, and I don't know what Diggs' future is with the team. I really think that they're going to try and move him here. I don't know if they can move him here. I think a clean slate's the best for both parties, but maybe they don't, and maybe 4 games on the IR, he comes back and he is feeling better, and he can, because when Diggs is held, I mean, when he's on and he's locked in, we know Diggs is a good player.
There's no other player that I've gone back and forth on more than him.
That's kind of his playing career.
The more we dig in, the more, and I guarantee you, somebody like Jane Slater's going to come out with this.
This is a weird story.
But now we might not know for a while because he can't talk because he's going to be on injured reserve.
Yeah.
So but this thing is going to come out, and it's probably going to be something that's pretty embarrassing for him.
All right, let's get back to the phones. Let's go to our guy Tim in Carthage. Rat, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, Brian and Zach, how are y'all guys tonight? I'm going to tell you something. I need to be straightforward with you guys. Number one, Brian, I think you're right. The calls you and Zach have taken some good calls tonight.
No, absolutely, yeah.
And Jim, we love you too. And
good call from Jim.
Yeah, we understand everybody's frustration. And I'll start it off by saying this. Brian Schottenheimer said it this week. He said it, and I think that it means more now. It's more impactful now than it ever was. He said the answer is in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And I think tonight, when I listen to all these people talk, whether it's Jerry, whether it's Brian, whether it's Dak, whether it's CD, whether it's Pickens, it doesn't matter. I think they all realize that we let ourselves down. We all need to look in the mirror, and I think we all need to pick up the pieces because I think we all got a little inflated because of last week.
Sure.
That being said, I don't know about the defensive, moves that they're thinking about making with the picks and Cosby in Vegas and all that. And, of course, Diggs' situation is nothing but a distraction. Mm-hmm. But I will say this. The biggest eye-opener I saw tonight was when CBS flashed up the defensive rankings, and they had 30th in one category and last in the next 3.
Yeah.
That's depressing. And we all hurt because of what happened last week, and we have to experience it this week. We all hurt, Cowboy Nation.
Yeah.
But we have to, once again, look in that mirror. Every one of us as supporters, fans, whether we want to complain to you on the G-Bag Nation or whether we want to complain about Jerry or just support, we all have to look in the mirror and say, this has got to change, and we have to start together.
Yep. Thank you for the call. Appreciate
Love you,
that.
Rat. There he is, Tim in Carthage, a.k.a. Pappy, one of our best callers. And, yes, 214 asking the question, and you clarified this for me this week, but you can trade a player on IR.
You can. You absolutely can. But once you trade him, he has to be gone for 4 games. So he has to.
Even on that other team.
On that other team, he has to be gone for the 4 games.
Understood. And I'm sure he's got to have pass physical as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a big part of that. All right, let's get back to the phones. Let's go out to Ron in Garland. Ron, you're on the official postgame show of the Dallas Cowboys. Almost said the show that we're on weekdays.
Good evening, man. Y'all doing all right?
Oh, great.
I've been better, Ron. I'll be honest with you, but we're hanging in there.
I didn't notice. Hey, real quick, man, y'all are spot on. I mean, if you can go out and you can get Crosby, why not? I mean, he's an impact player. I mean, they're doubling my brain cells have gone, but the number 95 that they just
Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark. They're doubling him every game. Okay, so you've got to have some kind of a push in the middle. They're not getting it, so at least they could have a good pressure, outside pass pressure at least. They're not even getting anywhere close to these freaking quarterbacks. It's pathetic.
No, I think you're right. And that's also another ripple effect. If you are able to get a more impact, and I get it, like some fans are like, well, you had that with Micah Parsons. Now with having Kenny Clark, which you didn't have, you got that with the Parsons trade. If you can get an impact end, that should theoretically help out Osadizu and Kenny Clark there inside, and hopefully then you see an uptick in their performance at defensive tackle as well.
Yeah, I get as many of those players that can cause problems on the field. You just don't have enough impact players on defense.
You don't have enough good players on defense right now. I mean, there are a lot of players that are out there in their bodies. They're just not playing good football right now. Some of them are young, and I don't like to write players off too earlier in their career, but man, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. All right, let's go to Scott in Cooper. Scott, what's up?
Hey, guys. What's going on? Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
Sure.
Just been listening to you guys talk about the trade and trying to get an impact player. I mean, the way I look at it is I'd love to see them do something, go out there and make a move, try to do something. But do we really feel, or do you really think that one player is going to fix this thing? Is one trade going to fix this?
No.
Again, no, we don't. But again, you look at it, can one player maybe make a pass rush or maybe make a stop or maybe, right now you don't have anybody like that. You don't have anybody that can affect the game. Like if you go out and trade for Max Crosby, he can affect games. We've seen him affect games on a bad Raiders team. So to me, Zach's hit the nail on the head. I just wish everybody would see what he's seeing. He's talking about, you might have that guy for 8 to 10 games, and maybe it helps you be better on defense, a lot better than you are. But he's also talking about the 2026 season, the 2027 season, the 2028 season. That's what this impact player could be. It's not just a one thing or 10 games. Now, maybe you go out and get a renter player, but a renter player is like you're not going to pay as much.
Yeah.
And the possibility, could Phillips come in here and be a great player for you? He absolutely could. Better than what you're playing with. You just have no impact players on your front at all.
Do you think that if getting a guy like Max Crosby and then maybe going out and getting a safety or a corner, do you think that would help us more also with Overshown coming back?
Man, are you trying to save the season now? Is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to save the season?
I'm trying to save the season. I feel like you're
I get it, Scott. Hey, and I love that. I a part of me does. I mean, obviously, like I'm a fan and I do want to win now too, but I think there's too many holes to be able to realistically fix this thing now. But
you can make it better.
It can get better.
You could absolutely, where instead of them scoring on 5 of 6 possessions, they score on 3 of 5 or 3 of 6.
And maybe, Scott, and like I'd love to get Max Crosby. I know that's like kind of been the name that we've talked about.
You're probably not going to get Max.
Probably not. Maybe it's with Miami, and maybe Miami can fill those 2 holes. Maybe it is Bradley Chubb, who's under multiple years of control, and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Maybe that's the move that ultimately you're able to end up pulling off.
Right.
And I do think that makes your defense better. Is it fixing everything? No. You're not a top 10 defense by any means, but it's a step in the right direction.
Sure.
And it's definitely going to help. All right, let's go. Let's take one more call before we break. Let's go to DC in Lubbock. DC, what's up, man?
Hey, guys. Appreciate y'all taking my call tonight. Like everybody else, disappointed, but hope for the future. I don't know what the trade you were talking about, Broaddus, but I'm all for a trade. And my thing is, I don't know which one is worse, watching a horrible defense this year or watching the horrible offense last year when Dak went out and we struggled.
Yeah.
Which Dak is earning every right of what the criticism we had to go through with him over years. But I'm all for a trade, however we can do it, because I'm like y'all, I agree 100%. No one guy's going to come in here and just change Eberflus' philosophy. But if we can get one guy that's disgruntled, kind of like Pickens, because what y'all said a couple of weeks ago, I heard about how we're not developing players on the offensive side. When you think about Tolbert and Flournoy and even our little cornerback Turbin, who is not a route runner. Please stop running routes with him. Just do whatever else but run routes. It's not that target. But if we can get a defensive player in here to make a difference, whatever it takes, let's get him, because what do we have to lose other than Jerry Jones? Thank y'all for taking my call.
Thank you. I appreciate the call, DC. I do think Flournoy's developing. I'm a Flournoy stan. I'm gonna keep with my guy Ryan Flournoy, but I agree with you on everything else there, DC. Thank you very much. All right, let's get more tape from the locker room. We'll also give you your defensive stop of the game, get more of your calls as well. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Throughout time, man has expressed himself through dance.
Reliant, PUCT number 10007.
All-Pro Garrett Bowles and former 49er Mike McGlinchey are the tackles. And on the third play of the game, here's a slant picked off at the 40-yard line. Stumbling forward with the ball is Traquez Bridges.
All right, that was our defensive stop. Really the only one that you could pick because Broncos really only punted twice, and one of those was in the end of the fourth quarter when the game was done and they weren't trying anymore. So Traquez Bridges got that interception. The Cowboys turned that into 3 points. They needed to get a touchdown. But either way, grand scheme of things, who knows? That might not have mattered. 44-24, Broncos beat the Cowboys. Zach Wolchuck alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus here. And, of course, our defensive stop of the game brought to you by WinStar. As the casino of the Dallas Cowboys, WinStar delivers thrills worthy of America's team. With over 10,000 of your favorite electronic games, the two-story WinStar Spawn cascades their luxury pool complex. WinStar is a world of wow. Please game responsibly. Speaking of trades, gosh, the George Pickens trade looks really, really good. Pickens, another decent day. 7 for 78, did lead the team on 9 targets, had a couple of really big-time acrobatic catches, showing off how good of a receiver he is. George Pickens catching up with the media.
I just feel like execution is the most important thing. I feel like we ain't really execute to the top level, and that's kind of what bit us.
How frustrating is it? Because you guys know you can execute to that level, but you have to make consistency. Can you put your finger on where they are and how you remedy it?
Just how the game went, honestly. I feel like they executed better, and then we did it. It's really just that simple, honestly.
When you guys are not executing like you would like to, when they are, how much does that is kind of a snowball effect downhill in terms of momentum, and how hard is it to kind of get that momentum back?
We always cheering people up on the sideline as well, so we always try to bounce back. But it's like when stuff not going your way, then you just got to, kind of eat it and try to get better.
There is George Pickens, and hopefully, hey, you get home cooking, back home against Arizona Monday night. Let's get those 40 burgers back out there.
The offense on home turf has
been elite.
Tremendous.
That's the best offense in football at home. They get on the road. Chicago not good. Denver not good. Carolina had some great moments. Unfortunately, didn't finish strong. And there was a good half against Philly. Yeah. And then they left probably some meat on the bone there as well. But the Cowboys now, when you look at road record, 1-4 this year, as they fall to 3-4-1. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. No, we're not.
You already done that, man.
Oh, I did it?
Didn't you hear Brad Sham tell
Peyton did it. Peyton did it. Gosh, Peyton, you're the man. You snuck that in there. You snuck that through the wickets.
No,
I was too busy watching Sunday Night Football, Brian. Are you kidding me?
I thought you were watching the Mavs. That's what
I was actually watching the Mavs. I just,
trying to get ready for your show tomorrow.
Just getting ready. Yep, absolutely. At halftime, 16-7, Steelers leading the Packers, by the way, just to give you an update there. All right, let's
Packers have missed a couple field goals, by the way.
Could be up even more.
Yeah.
Or there maybe could be
closer.
The game.
Be closer.
Or this has been. But I guess you're rooting for a Packers L here. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
go Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
give Green Bay another L, and let's see how those draft picks end up looking. If the Cowboys keep them, if they move
always
them,
cheer for a Green Bay L, especially when you got them picks.
Damn right. Screw you, Green Bay. All right, let's get out to the phones. Try and knock out a couple of these last callers before we put a bow on this one. Trey calling in from Allen. Trey, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How are y'all doing?
Great.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
So I've heard a few different callers, and first thing for me was just Schottenheimer on a few of those fourth down calls. I just didn't understand with the defense giving up points why he didn't go for them.
Sure.
That was biggest disappointment for me. And then second, I know the defense is pretty inexperienced with some guys called up from the practice squad, but do you think the players are giving up or just not buying into Eberflus's system?
Might not be very good. Your players might not be very good. That might be your biggest issue right now.
Okay.
I mean, there could be the buy-in. The buy-in could be non-existent. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're right now the way things are looking. Somebody asked me this question. I'll put it out there to anybody who wants to answer it. How many of these players start on other teams?
That's a great question.
Defensively. That question was asked to me, and I was trying to think. I
mean, I think Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
I think Osa probably.
Well, he's
on most teams.
Yeah.
There might be some that he doesn't start, but I think most teams also would.
Bland?
I think Bland starts. He probably starts at nickel for most.
Sure.
Because I think he's really good there. But then we're talking about, I don't think anybody. I really don't.
Yeah.
Shamar James, he probably wouldn't be starting for you if you had it in a perfect world right now.
Shamar right now is a guy to me that, like, he looks like he's really playing hard. He looks like he's playing really lost, though, too.
Well, this goes back to the call we had. I think it was Vinny. And they don't have they've got athletes at linebacker. They don't have any linebackers that are the instinct player. Yeah. Like, that was my issue even watching Maris Leofat. And Maris is, and we got to talk with coaches and scouts afterwards, and he is a super smart player.
Yeah.
But the feel, like, he is a gambler with the way he plays. He's a heat-seeking missile. He's a Tasmanian devil out there. And there are times where that can be amazing, and it's a wow, game-changing play. There's other times where now you've completely blown your assignment, and a play that should have been a 2-yard gain is now a 60-yard gain. So it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
But Shamar James was a player at Florida that you love physically, all the athletic attributes. Not a bad player at all, but I didn't see a super instinctive player by any means. I think you're seeing that with Kenneth Murray as well right now. Good athlete, can run, can tackle in open space. He's done that at times, but does he have that ornate feel for the game to be able to process, diagnose, read, like be a step ahead? You don't have any linebackers right now that are like the quarterback of the defense, like the great linebackers in the league, like the Fred Warners, the Dre Greenlaws that you didn't get to play against today, but that can kind of see things before they happen. You're lacking that at the linebacker position right now. All right, let's go to Laura. I'm nervous, Laura. Laura calling in from Philly. Laura, what's going on?
Not a troll, I promise.
Okay.
I grew up in Garland, live in Philly now, and, despite my best efforts, I just can't quit this team.
Hey, well, we love you for it, Laura.
Awesome. Well, listen, I'm glad you're feeling better, Zach. So here's my question. I'm also very much pro trade here because I think you're going to be able to get something that you can't get in the draft, and that is a tone setter, a culture guy, someone who can really hold players accountable in the locker room. And that's something that you just can't ask of a rookie. So my questions are two-part. One, how effectively can you scout that? And two, is that something that Jerry and Steve in the front office really value, or are they putting those eggs in the DeMario Overshown basket?
Great questions, Laura. So, Bryan, was this your role when you were with the Cowboys? Were you on the pro personnel side?
Yeah, this is the role what happens when you're thinking about making a trade, you try and get, we signed Leroy Glover
Great signing.
Yeah, and like Jerry Jones asked me, he goes, hey, I'm about to hand this guy a $5 million signing bonus. How do you feel? And you couldn't have driven a nail up my ass. I was so tense about that. But, the thing about it was that I was to the point where I did every bit of research on it. I called everybody, guys in New Orleans, guys around the league.
Yeah.
I really tried to get all the information. I'm like, hey, Jerry, if you sign this guy, he could do this, 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 and this. He's an outstanding player. If you trade for a guy, I guarantee you they did everything in their power to learn about George Pickens before they made that trade. Coaches call other coaches, and guys will say, hey, man, you don't want this guy. He's a friggin' coach killer.
Mm-hmm.
And now that gets back. That gets back to your coaches walk in and say, hey, my guy in Pittsburgh told me he's a coach killer. Well, we're going to do the deal anyway. So, yeah, you really, really try. And we the thing about Shotty is he's trying to build the culture the right way. He really, really is. So I'm kind of like, I think that whoever they get, it'll be somebody they've really, really researched.
I do have a little bit of fear that, especially if they don't make a trade, I think then it would be selling, Overshown's our big trade. Getting Overshown back. That's
they'll
our
do
deadline
that,
move.
yeah.
If they don't make one.
Ravel,
I think you're right on that, Laura. Yeah. We're getting guys back.
Yeah.
Maybe even if Diggs is still on the team, maybe it's like, well, Diggs is healthy now. Here we go. We're getting all pro Diggs back.
I'm glad she wanted to do the trade, though. That's cool.
No, I liked the call, Laura, and Godspeed there in Filthy. Let's go to Chad. What's up, Chad?
How you doing?
Good.
Glad I took my call today. I got offensive suggestion and some on defense for you. Offense, I think we need to run more screens and more draws.
Okay.
And on defense, I don't think we need to make the trades. I think we need to keep the picks and wait till draft day to flip those picks for more picks.
Okay.
All right, Chad, let me ask you.
And all three levels, I think we need a player on all three levels on defense.
I'm with you on that, Chad. Why more screens? What screens have the Cowboys? Well, I mean, I guess we haven't seen the draws as much.
Yeah, but
specifically the screens. Do you think the Cowboys are a good screen running team?
We don't know. We don't see them.
Well, you try to throw a screen to Turpin today, and that thing went for
and CD. Didn't work.
Yeah, it's the. Are you talking about running back screens? Or are you talking about wide receiver screens? We'll throw a tight end screen at you every once in a while for about 3 yards.
The running back screen, Chad, you could be onto something there. They don't run a lot of running back screens.
No, they don't.
I like when Zeke used to run them. And the draws with Pollard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
like
Blue.
that.
Maybe that'd be a good way to get Blue the ball. I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea, Chad. I mean, maybe they don't really do, now that you bring that up, a ton of running back screens. It is always to a wide receiver or a tight end, or they'll do that one-man screen.
Yeah.
Where they'll have like Lipke out there doing his thing. All right, let's go to Sean in Mansfield. Sean, how are you?
I'm doing fine, fellas. Hey, I got a question that I don't think a lot of people really want to hear, but I know Broaddus, I don't think you're scared to give us an answer.
No.
Do you think Stephen Jones has failed this team with his leadership as far as being conservative in the draft and not really doing his due diligence and trusting his scouts and people that they have in that office? Because they have a lot of money, and I know they got some good people in that office. I don't think they really are allowing the people that have those jobs to really give their best input.
No, see, that's where I'll disagree with you, because I think they listen to everybody too much. I think that's the biggest problem. And as Stephen failed, I think what Stephen has done is he hasn't given Will McClay just the complete latitude to run the draft and take it over the way it needs to be done.
Well, why not? Because as a fan, we suffering year after year after year.
It's not going to change, bro. It ain't changing. I mean, and the other day on Twitter, I got on there and people were talking about me, and I was talking about Will and how he wears it. And people were like, "Oh, well, he's this, that, and the other." I said, "Wait till Will leaves. Wait till Will leaves, and then goes and Will go run his own team. You'll see a guy that really. I just think he got too many people involved in conversation with this football team.
Because I'm with you, Sean. I mean, I think that I'd like to see like Will McClay just be able to do what he wants to do.
I totally agree.
And then let's see how this team looks. But I do think there's an element to this where, and it might not even be a Steven thing. I think Jerry wants to win his way.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the Jimmy and Jerry divorce.
Because, fellas, y'all have projected year after year after year of what's going to happen to this team. And I'd be damned if it not has happened. Y'all been spot on.
Well, I appreciate you, Sean. I mean, I know I can speak for myself. I've been wrong about a lot, but you do.
Oh, hell, I've been way wrong about some of these guys.
There are times where it's like, man, how do we see some of this stuff in I put this out on Twitter today. I do think one of the Cowboys' biggest problems, and Bryan, you've confirmed it with others that you've talked to in the NFL, they way over-evaluate their own.
That's the biggest problem.
It's a huge problem, and they're too damn stubborn to admit it. And if you tell them, they're going to make you think that you're crazy and you're the fool.
Yeah.
You're the problem.
Yeah.
No, they're the problem by not wanting to admit when they make mistakes and move on from players and giving second contracts to guys that probably didn't deserve it, and then waiting so long until the last minute to give the ones that did deserve it. There's a lot of issues there. And look, there's a ton of, like, you could always be the Jets. Like, I don't think that the way they run this thing is like the worst in the league. But yeah, there's problems.
There's just way, and then Will has to deal with it because he has to deal with the Joneses, he has to deal with the scouts, and he has to deal with the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he deals with all those areas, and I think it affects the way that they play.
Well said. All right, let's put a bow on this one. Let's get our player of the game and look ahead to Arizona. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown.
fullback, handoff. Williams blasting up the middle. Touchdown, Cowboys. 2 on the ground for the former Bronco, Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams is our player of the game, 42 yards on the ground and a couple of touchdowns, as Williams with his 8 rushing touchdowns this year. Last Cowboy with 8 or more rushing touchdowns for the first 8 games of a season, the great Emmitt Smith, with 10 in 1999, Bryan. 10 rushing touchdowns in the first 8 games for Emmitt. Yep.
I would have said it was probably in 93 or 4, something like that, one of those things.
One of his prime years.
Well, didn't he led the league in touchdowns one year, right? Didn't he have 20-something touchdowns?
Yes, I think that was his MVP season.
Yeah.
And then I believe it was LaDainian Tomlinson broke that record. Did somebody do it before him, before LT?
Was it Alexander? Sean Alexander?
Did Sean Alexander do it first?
Yeah,
he might have. That wouldn't surprise me because their Super Bowl year, he had an amazing season.
LT was one of those guys, and I think Sean Alexander had
Marshall Faulk.
I don't know about that.
Falk was pretty darn nasty, but yeah, either way, they're all Emmitt's records in my opinion. I love that guy. 877-881-1053 is always the number to call, the number to text here on the official postgame show of your Dallas Cowboys. Zach Wolchuck, the Super Bowl winning scout, Bryan Broaddus. Speaking of our player of the game, Javonte Williams, catching up with the media postgame.
What did it feel like when you came on the field here in Denver, a place that you have so many memories?
Yeah, it felt familiar because I've been here I was there for 4 years, but it was just another game for me.
Whose jersey did you end up getting?
Malcolm Roach.
How can you explain kind of the up and down nature of this team from one week to the next?
Yeah, we just got to be more consistent. We got everything that we need. We just got to put it all together. And, you can't just do it one game and not do it the next game. We got to be more consistent if we want to go where we want to go.
What's running there inside and just what that does to kind of open up play action and stuff like that. It seemed like it was tough sledding in the middle.
Yeah, they got a great defense. I feel like we could have executed a little bit better. Probably more communication. Just small things. We was lacking on the details today. We just got to get better.
The pass rush is something that's really good too, and you're a part of the pass, picking up the blitzing and all that. Was it what you expected? Were they maybe a little better at that even than what you all expected? What was that like out there?
Yeah, pretty much what we expected. Those 2 guys on the edge are great players, even the backups, the entire D-line, actually the entire defense. They play well together. The secondary holds up to allow them time to get to the quarterback. So, we could have protected better, but overall, we just got to get back to the drawing board and execute next week.
There he is, Javonte Williams afterwards. Now, look at this. I've actually got it pulled up. Okay, so it was Priest Holmes.
Oh, Priest Holmes with
Marshall Faulk.
Okay, you said
so.
Faulk. Yeah,
you had Faulk beat Emmitt. Priest Holmes beat Faulk. Sean Alexander then beat Priest Holmes' record.
Okay,
and then LaDainian Tomlinson beat Sean Alexander's, and that's stood since the 31. So we had like a little stretch there from 95 to 2006 where that thing changed hands 5 different times, and now it's not losing anymore.
Not losing anymore.
That's wild. All right, we've got next week Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
I'm nervous, Bryan. I am because Kyler Murray at AT&T Stadium, and they're coming off a bye week. Shout out to the texter from the 469 that just put that out there. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So they got an extra week, and Arizona has not been very good this year. They've played some teams tough.
They'll play you great, though.
But I feel like, like Arizona's going to show up and probably give you your best game.
Kind of a get-right game.
Yeah. So if this offense isn't ready to be firing on all cylinders, that could be a rough one on Monday night. And if you fall to 3-5-1 going into the bye, I think there's a lot of people that are then going to just say this team's they're done for this year.
Yeah. Yeah, you just you need to find a way to get the thing to 4-1 and then take your bye and then get ready for the second half of the season. And by the Tuesday after the Arizona game will be the trade deadline. And so, you will know something about I think you know about your football team, and I think there's people out there that'll tell you. I think Brad Sham said it earlier. You kind of are who you are right now. And, so if you think, oh, well, this offense will do this and the defense will do that. But to a player, they just talk about consistency and execution. Those are the kinds of things you say when you really don't have answers. When you really, nobody is saying, hey, we just got our ass kicked today. Or, hey, we couldn't cover anybody today. Mm-hmm. Schottenheimer, to his credit, said, hey, we we didn't coach very well. We didn't play very well. I mean, that to his credit, he's not wrong about that. I cannot think of one area where this football team was good enough to win today. I really can't.
No. I mean, they
needed to be really good on offense, and it just showed you when they're not really good on offense,
they don't have a chance.
They don't have a chance. Yeah, because the defense is that poor.
Yeah, the offense has to be superhuman every week.
Yeah,
you have to play like the number one offense in the sport, or else you're not going to have a chance to win. Update Sunday Night Football 16-14. Green Bay just scoring, so the Steelers are up by 2. The rest of your scores today, how about Miami? Going on the road, no Michael Penix Jr. for Atlanta. It was Kirk Cousins, but the Dolphins, 34-10. They improved to 2-6, get their first road win. Tua with 4 touchdown passes in this one. The Jets, Aaron Glenn, former Cowboy, gets his first win as a head coach. They come all the way back. They beat the Bengals with a 23-point fourth quarter, 39-38. 244 yards and a touchdown for Fields. Breece Hall, 2 rushing touchdowns, and the game-winning touchdown pass to former LSU Tiger Mason Taylor. So congratulations to Aaron Glenn and the Jets. Bengals now 3-5. Trey Hendrickson did get hurt today, or aggravating that back injury again. That one, it looks like a legit injury. I was kind of thinking maybe this was one where, are we going to trade you? But no, that looked real. Patriots, 5 in a row. 32-13. They beat the Browns 6-2 now, despite Myles Garrett having 5 sacks. Free Myles Garrett. Put him in a Cowboy uni. Although I can't feel bad for Myles Garrett because he did take all the money. And he said he wanted to trade, and it was all about football, but then you just went back to Cleveland. What did you think was going to happen? You weren't going to play meaningful football in Cleveland. Eagles beat the Giants 38-20. Saquon looked great. 150 and a touchdown. Did get banged up in this one with Cam Skattebo. He got carted off. Looks like a broken ankle for him.
Yeah, he's having surgery tonight.
Season done.
In Philadelphia. And then,
that's a toughie.
His season is done.
The Bills get back in the win column 40-9, and nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. 5-2 now on the year. Panthers fall to 4-4. James Cook, 216 yards, 2 TDs on the ground. Ravens get off the schneid, 30-16. They win at home. No Lamar Jackson, but Derrick Henry with a couple of touchdown runs, 30-16. They beat the Bears. Texans over the 49ers, 26-15. Houston improving to 3-4. Bucks also over the Saints, 23-3. Baker with 152 through the air. Sean Tucker, the runner, with a touchdown. Colts over the Titans, they're 7-1, 38-14. They get the win over the Titans. And then we know Thursday night Chargers over the Vikings. Tomorrow night, it'll be Marcus Mariota and the Commanders against the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, we'll be back Monday Night Football a week from tomorrow at AT&T Stadium. Pregame at 4 with Eric and Bryan. And then myself, Zach Wolchuck, and Bryan will have halftime and postgame. Big thank you to Peyton Russell, as always. Ross Lubinsky, of course, Jet in the back there pulling highlights for us. Douglas Bearclaw, I love you, man. You always do a great job back in Master Control at the Star. Tim Collins, Gavin Spittle. Cowboys lose 44-24. Hopefully getting back in the win column against Arizona, but we'll have to wait a week for that, and we'll monitor everything that goes on. Until next time, hugs and hand pounds, everybody. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine. Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. Guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Hey, time out. Now, everybody knows being a Cowboys fan means staying on top of your game. But taking care of you isn't just good for you. It's good for your whole team. And the MyBSW Health app for Baylor Scott & White Health makes it easy to schedule checkups, screenings, and more. So you're ready for every tailgate. You said you manned the grill, remember? Schedule your next appointment through the MyBSW Health app from Baylor Scott & White Health. The power to live better.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th.